India's GDP today is $2.8 trillion. And our market cap at 144 lakh crores is roughly equivalent to our GDP. So our GDP to market cap ratio is about 1:1. Now, we all know that the Indian economy is growing at over 7% a year right now. Will hopefully trend at 8% a year and continue to grow at that rate for the next very many years. And ladies and gentlemen, if we do that, we'll go from an economy that is a $2.8 trillion economy to a $5 trillion economy and then to a $10 trillion economy. And generally, the ratio between GDP and market capitalization has held at pretty steady at about 1:1. So if we are going to become a $5 trillion economy and then a $10 trillion economy, please note that our market cap is also going to increase from about $2.5, $2.6 trillion, 144,000 lakh crores, and go towards $5 trillion and then towards $10 trillion. So if we go from $2.8 trillion GDP right now to $5 trillion, we are going to add $2.2 trillion to market cap. And if we go to 10, then we are going to add another $5 trillion to market cap. The best, ladies and gentlemen, for India's capital markets is yet to come. This is what is in front of us. And we have already seen that over the last few years. The growth of the industry, as Shri Balasubramaniam showed, has been outstanding. And please recognize that the capital markets are a prosperity system for India. They are a prosperity generating system for India. Because what happens in the capital markets is those of us that have surplus capital, which is savers, investors, and so on, and the vast majority of those are retail investors, all the people who will participate in Jan Nivesh. They are the ones with the surplus capital, they are the ones who are the savers. And from them, the capital is going to flow to India's most productive, most competitive enterprises, and these are the enterprises that will be able to deploy that capital, use that capital the most efficiently and generate the best returns for India and drive India's prosperity forward. So the capital markets play an extraordinarily important role in our economy, taking capital from those who have a surplus to those who can take that capital and invest it as wisely as possible. And the role that AMFI plays, the role that the mutual fund industry plays in taking that surplus capital and giving it to efficient enterprises is the most important, and that is the magic of the capital markets in terms of spurring our economy forward, in terms of driving India's growth. And you, AMFI members, are the magicians of our capital markets that can take capital from one side and take it to the other side. And so I will say, and I will applaud you, ये जो आपने जन निवेश की जो आपने बात की और आपने कहा कि आज की बचत आगे के भविष्य के लिए आपको काम देगी, सिर्फ आपको नहीं काम देगी, ये सिर्फ जन निवेश नहीं आप लोग कर रहे हैं, इस जन निवेश के द्वारा जो AMFI जादू कर रहा है उसके द्वारा देश में भी निवेश हो रही है और देश में भी विकास हो रहा है. ये हमारे कैपिटल मार्केट्स का जादू है, ये हमारे कैपिटल मार्केट्स का जादू है. और इसे हमने समझा, we understood it very well. We recognize that these policies that would promote the capital markets, that would result in investing in our capital markets, that was based on confidence, that was based on very high integrity, transparent financial intermediaries, would spur our capital markets forward, would spur India's economy forward. So we pursued policies. We pursued policies that attracted foreign capital, that attracted FDI and FPI to our markets, and that lifted our markets forward. We got our pension funds to be able to invest in the capital markets. EPFO is now investing in the capital markets, and that's happening through SIPs that they are doing, and of course the SIPs that you're doing. And that is money that is steadily going into the capital markets day after day after day. And ladies and gentlemen, in some ways the most important thing that we did for our capital markets was demonetization. Because through demonetization, we convinced India that it made no sense to stay in the informal economy, to keep your money in gold and real estate. Instead, to enter into the formal economy, to financialize your assets, rather than investing in some of these real assets, you were so much better off investing in financial assets. And that's why we've seen this incredible, unprecedented growth in mutual funds. And I'm very proud of what we've done in aviation. In aviation, we have doubled volumes in the last 4 years. But when I look and see what has happened in the mutual fund industry, I have to say you have done even better, because what we have doubled in aviation, you have tripled in the mutual fund industry. You have gone from 10 lakh crores in terms of assets under management to now 23.5 lakh crores and growing very quickly. You've got mutual fund investors that have doubled. You have got the growth of the industry, the revenues of the industry doubling and even tripling. This has been an outstanding achievement, and it has been an outstanding achievement because of the policies that we have put in place and because of your terrific efforts in really growing the mutual fund industry. And that is why Jan Nivesh, which will contribute to that, is such an important step forward, because it will enable everybody to participate in the capital markets, everybody to see that their capital is growing, but at the same time, India is growing as well. Now, it is famously said that in the short run, the capital markets are a voting machine. In the short run, the capital markets are a voting machine. That is, there is a certain popularity that certain stocks have or certain names have. But in the long run, and this is what you do, in the long run, capital markets are not a voting machine, but a weighing machine. The weighing machine. And this, again, as I said, is the magic of the capital markets. The best enterprises, the most competitive enterprises, these are the ones that receive capital. And we are seeing that magic at work in our capital markets right now. Our very competitive enterprises, companies like TCS, companies like Indigo, companies like Kotak, HDFC Bank, companies like Maruti, our most successful, our most globally competitive enterprises that are high productivity enterprises are getting the capital they need to grow. They're getting the investments they need to grow. And ladies and gentlemen, when they get those investments, they create the high quality jobs that our country needs. And through those high quality jobs, through those frontier industries, those cutting edge industries that are at the frontier in terms of global productivity, in terms of their business models, these are the companies that grow, these are the companies that add to our market cap, and these in fact are the companies, wave after wave of companies that have been coming because of what our capital markets have been doing. Obviously the public markets, but the private markets as well, through venture capital and private equity. These are the companies that get boosted. These are the companies that take our country forward. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll conclude once again by saying कि जन निवेश से ही देश में निवेश होगा, और जब देश में निवेश होगा तो देश में बढ़िया से बढ़िया हमें रोजगार मिलेगा और इसी तरीके से विकास होगा, क्योंकि आपको मालूम है कि हमारी सरकार का जो मूल मंत्र है वह है सबका साथ, सबका विकास। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। जय हिंद।